The folks who came before us, and how hard they had it. My great grandfather was a Buffalo soldier. He was also a Civil War spy, but they didn't call him a spy because he was black. They called him a black dispatch. They sent him behind enemy lines to take count of Confederate troops, guns, men, and so forth and so on. Sometimes he would be gone for 2 or 3 months at a time, and he would be busted in rank at his troop because they didn't know, they thought he went AWOL, which means absent without leave. He would be found in the Freedmen's Hospital in Louisville, Kentucky. He would have malnutrition, he would be sick, and then they would nurse him back to health, and he would return to his outfit, which was the 114th U.S. Colored Troops. Basically, the last time he was out, the War Department sent a communications to his department or his troops saying this man has been on special duty for the War Department. He was a black dispatch. They didn't call him a spy because he didn't deserve that recognition, more or less. But still, he was a spy. Yeah.
That's Mr. Grant, you also, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mr.
But you can go.
I was just gonna say, you also have ancestors that were enslaved here in Weatherford, and isn't that the bill of sale?
Yeah, the bill of sale for my great-great-grandmother and her daughter.
Here
They
on
keep
Lawrence.
on sold, yeah.
Did it have a price on it?
$3,500.
$3,500, yeah.
Sold from AJ and Liz Hood to the Ryder family at Weatherford.
The Ryder, yeah.
Yeah, that was Fred Cotton.
Fred Cottons, yeah. That's his
grandfather.
in-laws, yeah.
Yeah.
I have one other thing to say. When we lived in Mill South in the 90s, the young man that was killed in the accident Wednesday morning, he and my daughter were the only 2 blacks going to Mill South when we lived out there. So I noticed how she'd come home and it would be like she was mad at the world. And one day I talked to her, said, what's wrong with you? And she told me how those kids were beating her down, you know, calling her names. I said, you do not have to take that. I said, you got a mama and a daddy, huh? If you need anything, you call one of us and we'll be there. You stop taking that. So that made her who she is today. And I was talking to she and Henry on the phone last night, the 3 of us, and I asked her about that. Because I thought about Jason, who just had an accident and got killed. And I wondered, did they do him like that too? I don't know, you know. That might have been why he was like he was. I don't know. But I know I talked with patients. I said, you do not have to face that. You got a mama and daddy. You call us if you need us. So she told me, said, yeah, I didn't know it till last night. She said, Mama, after you told me that, I started kicking B-U-T. I said, what? She said, yes, I did. So she never got in a fight. Anytime. She never bothered anybody, but it made her who she is now.
In the back?
Oh.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Karen Smith, and I just wanted to say how lucky we are to have y'all here. A year ago, due to some racial issues at our school, I leased the school out and I got to know Tony and James, and I knew they had so much information that I wanted to hear. So I leased the building out and got to hear a little bit. Then I went to the city and I wondered why we were not promoting what I thought was a gym in this city. And so I had talked to the city a couple of times about what we could do to help promote the building and our Black history here in Parker County. So time kind of went by between me talking to the city, and then on Facebook, they had talked about things they were gonna do this spring and summer with the parks, because the building is part of the Parks and Rec. So I asked a simple question: what are we doing to promote Mount Pleasant? Because they had all the other parks. What are we doing to promote this building? And I knew they knew who I was and kind of had talked about it. And it was like, hey, here I am. I'm still the thorn in your side, wanting to know why we're not promoting this beautiful building. So I said, you know, I just happened to mention, why don't we open it, because it was the beginning of February, why don't we open it up for Black History Month? Make it as simple as that. I do have one child that had some racial issues here in town. He is biracial. And so I just wanted to know what would help our city combat some of that systemic racism that we have going on in our schools right now. And I thought education was the biggest part. If we don't continue to tell these stories that we've heard today, the stories will be lost. And I think it's really important that we continue to teach our children the real history in our town. They get enough of the white history in our schools. This, to me, is more important to my kids because I want to make sure they get a balanced education on what really has happened. And I can't thank James enough for doing this. This was just, yeah. I've also, just a couple of things that I suggested is also maybe having once a year a Raymond George Day. We have a jazz quartet or something, a barbecue, whatever, something to celebrate him also. And they were really happy about that. If anybody would like to just say, hey, I think it's great that we're promoting this building, just call the park, Shannon Goodman at the Parks and Rec. And the building is free to lease out for the month of February. So